Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast, the Road to WrestleMania SmackDown edition. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by NYC Demon Diva Issa and Mr. Alfred Konuwa tonight to talk about all the goings-on SmackDown. Maybe we'll also talk a little bit about WWE 2K23. But before we dive into things, let's hit the news.
Let's hit the news. We've got a lot of news, beginning with a developing story. QT Marshall still has not paid me the $100,000 that I did invoice him after he publicly requested my services to help punch up those wretched QTV segments. QT Marshall was being a pro by reaching out to help when he needed it. I obliged. I have offered to help his services. I did invoice Sugar Daddy Shad Khan, because that's where the money comes from, not QT, not Tony Khan, but his daddy's boss. So the invoice is still out here. And you know that we're going on an hour earlier. It's because we will not cover AEW Rampage until I am paid what I'm worth and what he contractually agreed to. So until you pay me for my services to rewrite those segments, we will continue to go on an hour earlier, not cover AEW Rampage. But I will keep you updated on these developments. By the way, AEW Dynamite down this week, 852,000 viewers, 0.27 in 18 to 49 as that show continues to struggle. Hit me up, QT. Issa, what do you think about Rampage's AEW Dynamite's ratings this week?
I don't know. I just want to know. You're going to need that money for when you take me to Applebee's. So I hope that QT, I'm sorry, to Olive Garden. So I hope that QT pays up soon, because I plan on ordering every bottle of wine in the house. So yeah, you need to get paid. But yeah, I mean, the 800,000 to $1 million is just like a back and forward that they go between every week. It's their norm. They're not gaining any new viewers.
Yeah. What's the answer, though? It wasn't CM Punk. We thought that would be the answer.
It was the answer. No, CM Punk was
CM
the answer.
Punk did draw.
They were doing the best numbers they did because of CM Punk, and there was a direct correlation between CM Punk being on TV and them having good numbers. What's concerning is that it's WrestleMania season, and that's supposed to help AEW. I know WWE's hot right now, but because WWE has an influx of so many new viewers, you would think there would be some kind of trickle-down effect, but we're just not seeing that. I think people have kind of established AEW as a second brand, and they're not messing with it right now.
I respect they did the Bar Mitzvah segment on Wednesday. I thought that was very clever.
I love that segment. It's very long, but I love the segment. And I thought it was one of those, we're going to do reality-based promos, which I've been talking for months. You'd think they'd learn their lesson after the CM Punk thing and after all that has gone wrong and all the works that have worked themselves into a shoot. But having said that, I thought it was very intriguing to watch this.
Yes, and in fact, this just in, next Wednesday on Dynamite, they're going to recreate MJS's Briss. MJF's Briss.
Oh, no, MJS is right. He's MJF, Maxwell Jacob Shtickman, and he uses a lot of shtick, and he used more of it this past week, but very much looking forward to that. Are they really doing that, or are you messing with me?
I'm messing with you. They're going to do a circumcision live on the air.
I can see that. They're getting desperate, man.
They're going to get the moil out there, and old school style, too. Old school moil. Yeah. No, that'd be funny. That would be great if they were just like, we got to really lean into the Jewish thing.
Sammy Guevara did tease that there would be a circumcision, so I thought they were going in that direction.
Oh, funny. No, I think no. So CM Punk isn't the answer though, because I think he'll alienate whatever they gain now of CM Punk being back on TV. They will lose. They will alienate an equal number of people.
I completely disagree. These fans can't help themselves. There's so much drama behind the idea. At least initially, whatever they do with him, maybe they'll screw him up and he'll implode all over again. But initially, CM Punk being back with AEW, I think would be a huge boost for that viewership.
Yeah, well, we'll see. What else is going on in the news?
Well, one of my favorite stories, poor Soraya. Soraya was being a naughty girl this past week on AEW Dynamite. Of course, I think it's 1 week after Ruby Riott accurately called AEW, much of AEW's fan base, a bunch of fat neck-bearded trolls. Soraya doubled down and she used the word twats, calling them neckbeard stinky twats with a British accent. Of course, she's being a very naughty girl, so it got her in hot water. She tweeted that she was legitimately fined for these actions, which is true. She had to privately apologize to AEW management for her naughty language. Bad girl. And there was an email sent to the AEW talent because they're not allowed to flip off audience members and body shame the crowd. So heels are being told to tone it down. This is an Onion headline. So AEW is now apparently on this crusade stemming from the actions of MJF, I believe, pouring drinks on a kid. Heels are now being told to tone their act down from where I'm standing. Do you feel that Saraya was in the wrong, Issa?
I don't know. Like, I when did this rule start? I guess you just said it, from pouring water on the kid, because
That's speculation.
That,
we don't know that, but that is
but that's my point. Is like, before that, they were telling this to the audience multiple occasions, multiple heels. That's their go-to. It's almost every week the audience get crapped on by one of their heels. So I guess it's weird. I mean, change the policies, but it's just weird that you're going to start out of the blue after 3 years of us seeing the same thing. It just seems a little unfair for Saraya. Did you send an email? Did they send a mass email letting people know what they were supposed to say, not to say? Like, I'm very confused about how this whole thing went. But yeah, the fine is a legitimate thing. Like, it really happened. I think it's crazy. Like, give her a warning or something. I don't know.
Yes. It's very odd. I mean, you don't hire someone like MJF and have him as part of your roster.
Seriously.
If it's like, we got to rein him in, though. And I think MJF should always be the one pushing the limit. But I think Saraya, I mean, you know, this is controversial for a heel to disrespect the audience. Next thing you know, they're going to say, don't say any bad things about the local sports team. People are very, very sensitive about that. Very
MJF
sensitive.
will be screwed. They're taking away all his tools.
Yeah.
And I do think that MJF would be able to work around that, but it's hard enough in AEW for people to be heels. We can argue that MJF does a phenomenal job as a heel, but it gets hard. It's a balancing act every week to try to get these people to turn on him, because they don't have very many storylines people sink their teeth into. They're all about wrestling, so it's a bunch of both these guys type energy. And so now with that built-in infrastructure, that makes it really hard to create heels. Now you're going to tell these people to tone it down? Like, how are people supposed to get heat in this company? I think this is so ridiculous. It's like a satire of itself that these heels are now being told, don't flip off audience members, don't call them twats. And it's another example of Tony Khan really rallying and standing up for the fat neck-bearded trolls who are within his audience. He tends to alienate the charismatic types like me and CM Punk and Ariel Helwani, and really rally around the fat neck-bearded trolls in his audience. Let them call them that. That is true. Maybe it's too true. Maybe that's why he's upset about it.
Okay, first off, to my husky boy brethren, we have nothing against you. You're on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. But no, look, I mean, if I was writing a show about a wrestling show, and they should do this as a segment, they should have a backstage segment of someone coming in and being like, yeah, you can't really say this anymore, and just trying to tell MJF and Saraya like what's safe to say when disrespecting someone. You know, they should just lean into that and make that a recurring thing until ultimately that person. What's Peter Avalon doing? He'd be great in that role.
I like that, actually. That might be a way to get heat, ironically.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be good.
Yes, but we will continue to monitor this developing story and see whether or not AEW cleans up its act with its heels, because these heels have to be on their best behavior, as we know. You don't draw money as a heel unless you're respectful about it. So let's see how that works out. We have Hall of Fame. A couple quick notes to end this news segment. Looks like Umaga, China, Michelle McCool, who are all rumored names, they will not be joining the 2023 Hall of Fame class. I actually got excited about these names. It's reported. There was a new report by Mike Johnson of PW Insider that they will not be joining in the class. But those three sound like fire names to me, especially Umaga.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this. Yeah. It's going to be a weird short ceremony this year, right?
They might, I kind of think like, yeah, maybe they're going to have more people. They might dedicate that whole thing to Ray's induction. Like, I know there's going to be probably Stacy Keibler. There's obviously the great Muda, but I feel like they're going to cut their time short and the whole thing's going to be built around Ray.
Yeah. Issa?
Wade.
Huh? Yeah.
Any thoughts on the Hall of Fame?
Puerto Rico just lost to Mexico in the Baseball World Classic, and I'm pissed off right now. So yeah,
I'm sorry about that. It's funny you mentioned Puerto Rico. I was going to say Issa belongs in the WWE Hall of Fame for bringing WWE to Puerto Rico. I think that she should be kidding.
2 of it. Yeah.
Wade Barrett is permanent now, so we'll stop. People are waiting for Pat McAfee to come back. Of course, Pat McAfee, it looks like he's waiting to see who WWE is sold to. So while he waits that out, it looks like Wade Barrett is permanent, and I'm all for it. I love Pat McAfee. I stand Pat McAfee, but I thought when he came back to the Royal Rumble, I thought he was terrible. because he
Really?
was playing the whole role of I haven't been here in weeks. Who's this guy? It was like he needs to catch up on his wrestling if he wants to come back, and I will welcome him back with open arms. But I do think that Wade Barrett has earned that job on SmackDown.
He's good.
Glenn.
He's good.
He's very good. I've gotten comfortable with him there. I think he's great at his job. I haven't gone back to listen to the Rumble, but I heard that tonight. We were talking about it earlier on my channel, and people in the chat brought that up. That Pat was a little bit of a mess at the Rumble. So now I'm curious. I kind of want to go back and listen just to see.
He ran the Banger Brothers thing into the ground.
Yeah, that was a big deal with Pat. It was just, and they kind of leaned into it. And I don't know why WWE. It's partly WWE's fault. They produced him like that to where his character was, I haven't seen the product. I don't know who any of these guys are. It was so distracting from commentary. I think they should have, at the very least, either covered for him or made sure that he did know the product. It was weird.
I mean, if we want that, just bring Jerry Lawler back and he can keep telling the same jokes he's been telling for 40 years.
Those one-liners.
Yeah.
Our final news story, Glenn. Sasha
Yeah.
Banks, it looks like her last contracted match in Japan is April 23rd at the Yokohama Arena. She does not have any matches contractually with New Japan after April 23rd. So let the speculation begin.
Mercedes Monet.
Mercedes Monet. Yes. Sasha Banks, a.k.a. Mercedes Monet. Both cool names.
Where does she go? Does she go to AEW?
I don't think so.
So what? She can debut on Rampage like they're doing to Taya Valkyrie tonight?
Yeah, hopefully she's not a heel in AEW because that's going to be tough for her.
We'll see where she goes. I think she stays with New Japan, maybe on a match-to-match contract for a little bit longer. That's odd. Go through all that and wait this long to just have 2 matches. Why are you bullying me? Sorry.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'd be weird if she ended up back up in WWE.
It would be, and it'd especially be weird because of the overwhelming, looming possibility of Vince McMahon getting back in charge. I do think that her decision would be affected by whether or not Vince comes back. And as long as there is a threat, even though she does seem to have love and admiration for Vince McMahon, in terms of working together, it seems to be untenable. So the threat of Vince coming back, I think, is what would keep her away from WWE. But I do expect her down the line to return to WWE.
Yeah, we shall see. Mia Lee, $4.99 super chat saying Carmella and Chelsea winning that tag showcase. How we get an NXT? How about we get an NXT tag team like Kaden and Katana? Charlotte and Rhea sold me tonight.
Well said, Mia. I agree with that. Not a main event segment, obviously, but they did some physicality and they did it well. I have an interview with Charlotte on YouTube channel and on Forbes right now, and she told me about not getting physical with Rhea, only to then get physical with Rhea Ripley.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of speculation online that this match is going to main event night 1 tonight. I did feel like if that's the case, they kind of added that pressure to it because they got more physical. I love Rhea Ripley. We'll get into it. I love Rhea's promo, but it did feel tonight where we started putting a little to the story. It hadn't felt that way until tonight.
Did this feel, if this is such a main event, why didn't we close the show with this? And we all know why. It's because this is not the main event. Even if they go on last, like, this is not the WrestleMania main event. Not night 1.
Is Rhea winning at WrestleMania?
She better.
I think so, but that's the intrigue, is that, and that's what is actually going to make this match so good in terms of fans being into it. Rhea should win this match. You'd think it's her time, but Charlotte Flair gets a lot of wins.
You never bet against Charlotte.
Yeah.
I mean, she literally defeated Ronda Rousey. I know there was some shenanigans, but she defeated Ronda Rousey in a match that I felt last year. Last year's Mania, I got up to go get a frozen margarita because I thought that match was such a lockdown. I remember hearing Charlotte's music hit, and I'm like, wait, did Ronda just lose? Like, you never bet against a Flair. Not just Charlotte. Don't bet against a Flair, period.
Yeah, but I mean, they can't do, if it's night 1, Dominic's involvement's got to be limited. It's not going to end with Charlotte pinning Dominic and Rhea together and then have Dominic go on the next night to fight his dad. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I can't see that happening.
Yeah, so maybe Rhea does pull out a win.
Why not?
I mean, yeah. You know what? I bet you them run the rematch that happens. So let's say Rhea wins but Charlotte wins it back because I bet you that happens on the rematch. I bet you at some point in the future, Charlotte taps out or pins both Dominic and Rhea Ripley.
I would actually hate that because I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but they've run into something with Rhea, just like they have with Gunther, where she's now on this long undefeated streak. She's not lost a match since May of, I believe, last year. Yeah, May of last year is the last time she lost a match. So if she wins with the title, you can build up this unbeatable champion the way you're doing with Gunther. So I don't think she should be losing for quite some time.
We'll see.
Right.
Tornado Anthony Y.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, Alfred, Raw June 12th is in Wichita, Kansas.
Don't start this. Nope.
No. The GOAT is back. I was actually just thinking about because they were in Kansas City tonight, and I was saying, what happened to the tornado? And here he comes. Great to see you, Anthony.
So a lot to talk about tonight. The build to WrestleMania. And wouldn't you know it, once again, trying to use Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to get Cody Rhodes over tonight in this opening promo.
No shame.
Cody calling out Kevin, calling out Sami. And this was really just, he's trying to get the rub.
Is he trying to? Okay, I want you in the chat because maybe I'm being gaslit here. Maybe my hearing is off. I did hear loud Cody chants. Were there any Cody chants on the show tonight? Was Cody over on the show? I don't know. Maybe I'm being gaslit, but who knows? Maybe these people don't like Cody Rhodes and he's not selling all this merchandise.
I mean, he had an okay response, but I mean, come on. When Sami and Kevin hugged at the end, that was the pop of the night.
Of course, and it proved the point that I've been making all along is that, Sami needs to win. And WWE has the answer. Okay, they did not have Sami win, and guess what? Still got the pop of the night, to your admission. They didn't have Sami win, and guess what? When Jey Uso turned, pop of the night. Okay, so they don't need to have Sami win these matches and be champion. They just need to tell their story, and we need to start, people need to start trusting WWE, okay, because they're hitting on all cylinders, and okay, maybe some people are upset that Sami didn't win in Montreal, and I could see that, but WWE has the answer, and they proved that once again.
Well, what did you think, Issa, of this promo tonight? And Cody saying the debt he owes to Kevin Owens for giving him like names and numbers when he was hitting the indie circuit.
I don't know. I don't know why they have Cody Rhodes out here being a better help therapist. I didn't need it. Like, it feels like he's being forced into a story that he doesn't belong in. That's what it feels like to me. I get it. He's like, crowd loves him. I'm tired to hear him talk. Xavier Woods beat LA Knight faster than Cody did on Monday. Like, I don't understand what you're doing, Cody, here. No offense, Alfred, but it's not doing him any favors. He just feels like the third wheel in the Sami and Kevin show.
He should be the third wheel in the Sami and Kevin show because he's a world title contender. He's not going for those bum-ass tag team titles. He should feel like the third wheel in a tag team title storyline.
Yeah, well, maybe his lack of concern. Like, he's too worried about reuniting these two guys when he should be worried about the biggest match of his career.
Because and I know
it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
I understand that we're not used to seeing like an actual babyface because Roman Reigns failed at that for so many years. But Cody Rhodes, like an actual babyface, is worried for the betterment of people getting together. And I know it's easy to be cynical and say,
boring.
Why is he
Alfred,
doing this?
He just talked for 12 minutes for no reason whatsoever. He just comes out there and cries every week.
No, Sami Zayn was actually literally crying on this show. I love you, Kevin. I love you. No, don't drive away from me. I love you. He's crying in the parking lot.
I know. I don't like anybody crying.
Maybe if either of you had meaningful relationships with other people, you would understand emotion.
I have a great meaningful relationship right here. Thank you very much.
Anyhow,
I thought it was great. I thought Cody Rhodes did a good job of an intervention. Cody Rhodes solves everything. Cody Rhodes solves this problem between Sami and Kevin. They need to send Cody Rhodes to Palestine to broker the Palestine and Israel peace treaty. I think he can do it.
No, I want a show where Cody Rhodes goes to people on their job and it's like, well, let me run this by you. Have you thought about quitting and then make them hire you back? And that's just his advice for everyone, but it goes horribly wrong. And all these people end up unemployed. And that should be the advice he gives everyone.
I love
it. So yeah, I thought this opening segment was okay.
Completely agreed, Tony. Best director, Cody Rhodes, getting these two back on the same page. Let's go, Cody. It's time.
I like Sami and Kevin. The storyline still doesn't make perfect sense to me. I feel like they're trying really hard. They know the ending they want. They want Kevin and Sami winning those tag titles. They know it's there. But all these moving pieces and the motivation about Kevin being like keeping Sami at arm's length, it just doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make? I think it's very simple the way it's being told. What is not to get about this?
Okay, so Sami and the Bloodline made a lot of sense. It was a very emotional, in-depth story that was actually really logical. about different people not trusting him and having things, but it's like, why, when this happened, Kevin Owens should say, look, at Elimination Chamber, or at Elimination Chamber, like, they tried to permanently disable me, and I thank you for stepping up and seeing that Roman had gone too far. Let's take on Jay and Jimmy and teach the Bloodline a lesson. They're taking like 6 weeks to get to the most obvious conversation they should have had the day after, or the Raw after Elimination Chamber.
I completely disagree. They should have the night after just been like, okay, I'm going to forgive all those several months, which they had teased several months ago, that Sami Zayn turned his back on Kevin Owens. You talk about emotional relationships. There's nothing more heartbreaking than when somebody who you love betrays you. You don't just get over that because they did something right. You hold a grudge against them because they betrayed your trust, which is what's happening between Sami and Kevin. It's being told very simply, but it is a story of betrayal, trust, family, and love. And because Sami Zayn, or at least Kevin Owens, felt like Sami Zayn betrayed Kevin Owens is holding a grudge all the way until Sami Zayn emotionally broke down and said, I love you, you're my brother, and that's what it took to bring him back. I think it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, story that we sing at least 10, 15 times in WWE alone. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the story that'll never end, but this time they have therapist Cody Rhodes.
It's just, I don't know. And then with Jimmy
having so
and
much
Jay,
fun with this. Can't wait for Monday when Roman shows up and we can see an actual
finally, where's Wrestling
real
Reigns
star
been?
in there.
Where has Wrestling Reigns
Why would he go to Kansas? Ew. Please have some respect.
Don't you get this tornado to come and tornado this podcast off the air. Do not invoke that tornado. She didn't mean that, Anthony.
Don't give me the where has he been, where the number one contender hasn't been here for 3 years. So don't even start with that, okay?
3 years. Cody Rhodes is on TV every single week doing the Lord's work.
Where was he the last 3 years? Where was he the last 3 years? At the company that he failed to stay at. So
running NXT off Wednesday nights, NXT off Wednesday nights, and then going to headline WrestleMania.
Please.
You kicked WWE's ass, and then they signed you to headline WrestleMania. That means you've made it in life. That's where Cody Rhodes is.
Listen, if you want to use the past for Roman Reigns for every excuse that you have to try to come back at, use it for Cody too. Where was he?
No, I love Cody. I love Roman Reigns. I will not.
Yeah, you do love him a little too much, Alfred. A little too much.
I don't hate either of these guys. I think Roman Reigns is a great champion. I think Roman Reigns is awesome. I love me some Roman Reigns. Day one, I love that he brings so many women into the show, as I said for years.
Like he opens the back door and lets them in the arena.
I think back door. What kind of podcast is this? But what is he doing in these back doors to these women?
No, in the arena, the back door of the arena. He opens the back door and he's like, "Come on in, women. I'm gonna get you."
I don't know what kind of freaky bukkake Glenn is talking about, but I love Roman. I'm not gonna, I understand that we're doing this.
Wait a second, Alfred, have you ever actually watched?
I love Cody Rhodes too, and I think it's time for him to win. I know it is. It just is. It's time for Roman Reigns to go away. He dresses like a volleyball coach for a high school lesbian volleyball team, and he needs to just
don't need to be trying hard like your boy coming out here in these suits that he can't even take off to start a fight.
I know what kind of wrestler wears a suit. Like what wrestler who has ever gotten anywhere in this business wears a suit? What the hell?
A tryhard.
I know Ric Flair is such a tryhard. Roman Reigns on Jimmy Kimmel when he was nervous, he was a tryhard. All these wrestlers in suits, they just need to stop.
I just got a text from Tony Khan, and he says we need to clean up our language and stop referencing pornography and sexual acts on this podcast.
Tony Khan, I'd like to apologize for being a heel on this podcast. I will be as nice as possible. No more middle fingers in this podcast.
Calvin R. Alexander, $2 super chat saying heel Issa is in rare form.
Don't call me a heel. The chat might not like it. They think I'm in gimmick or character, So please, chill with that. Chill with that, Kelvin. Okay, we don't want to piss off the people in the chat.
The Legit Heat Wrestling Show with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Saying if Cody can facilitate the Usos losing the tag titles, so Roman can watch his bloodline crumble and get further in his head that he's playing chess, not checkers.
That's a better argument than what Alfred just made in the last 23 minutes. Thank you for that, Legit.
So what he's saying is that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, so Roman Reigns is playing 4D chess with everybody is what he's saying.
You know what I would be down for? If Cody wins the championship and then Friday at SmackDown, Solo shows up and he's like, you forgot about me, MFer, and then beats him and takes the title off Cody. And
would he say MFer? Would he say the actual word? Because Tony Khan wouldn't like it if he said the actual word.
They'd probably bleep it, but I think Solo should be like, you didn't take me out. And then Solo becomes our dual champion.
Bucko, you didn't take me out, you little twat. That's what I want the promo to be. Saraya needs to host. Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, Alfred is on a mission tonight to get us canceled from this podcast. So KO and Sammy had like a parking lot talk, and Sammy was like, yeah, if you just want to turn around and never come back, I understand. And I mean, we knew where this was going. This was very, very predictable.
I thought it was great. There's nothing wrong with being predictable. There's nothing wrong with being predictable in wrestling. I know this podcast is not representative of about 10,000 people in an arena who exploded at the end of this show. Nobody's shocked that Kevin and Sammy came back together. We all saw it coming, but the way they did it, there's nothing wrong with being predictable. Don't outthinking yourself because it's too predictable. That's what buried WWE for years when Vince McMahon was in charge, because he'd show up to the building, think something's too predictable, and he'd change his mind at the last minute, even though that's where the booking's taking. There's nothing wrong with being too predictable. WWE is making more money than they ever had, and the product is better than it has been in decades. Why? Because it's predictable.
Yes. So, Alfred, vote 1 for predictability.
Yes. And listen,
Alfred,
it's great to have shocks.
Predictable Konuwa.
Predictability is a good thing. It's overrated to suggest that wrestling shouldn't be predictable. You got to build to certain storylines. It's how you get there. The creativity lies in how you get there, not predictability.
True. Issa, Judgment Day versus Legado del Fantasma. What did you think of this match and Judgment Day getting the win?
It was a great match. I thought Selena Vega looked incredible here. You forget how good she is because they don't use her enough. Based on the show coming to Puerto Rico, I would love to see her be involved in a big match. So I'm happy to see her, starting to get in the ring, see a little bit more of her. Unfortunately, I'm not too happy with Legado just being the designated jobbers at this point. But when you have Rhea Ripley on a match on the way to WrestleMania, it kind of feels very predictable what was going to happen here. I thought you could have done the pin differently, but I just never saw Team Mommy and Dom losing here just because of the obvious. But I really think that Selena shined here. I love seeing her in the ring. They need to start utilizing her more. And yeah, they're sad.
Zelina, the queen of the ring, Zelina Vega.
Yes, Queen Zelina. She was a revelation tonight. I thought she was incredible.
She's great.
I don't want to say pleasantly surprised because she's a solid hand and whatnot, but I do think she kind of leveled up or improved in whatever time that they haven't let her wrestle, because I thought she was really, really good and kind of the star of this match.
But does she still support unionization for wrestlers?
Quietly, I'm sure she does.
This was good. I hope Legado gets something meaningful. I mean, look, can we be real for a second? We're going to talk about this Fatal 4-Way. Like, these Fatal 4-Ways they're doing at Mania for the men and the women are just WWE saying, like, we have no freaking clue what to do with our tag division right now.
They're going to replace, because we haven't heard any announcement of any Andre the Giant Battle Royals. So this might be their version of that, is we're just going to do a bunch of Fatal 4-Ways.
We'll see. But no, it's a shame that we're not going to get any real movement for any other tag teams in the near future, men's or women's. It seems like they're very locked in to this booking trajectory. But I thought Judgment Day getting the win here, I mean, it's the right move. They're looking very dominant. I think they're going to have an amazing WrestleMania across the board. But Dominic grabbed the mic after and started calling out Ray again. And Ray came out there. And Ray, like, do you think they're leaning too heavily, Alfred, into Ray being adamant about, oh, I wouldn't beat up my son, I wouldn't hit my son, that would be the most disgraceful thing ever? Do you think, like, he doth protest too much?
No. I mean, I do think he does, and they're being dramatic about it, and they've got a lot of time, so we're kind of seeing these repetitive segments. Again, I have no problem with the predictability of this. So do you know, is anybody going to be shocked? Raise your hand and tell me in the chat, who's going to be shocked when Ray finally pops Dominic? Anybody? It's really predictable, right? Okay, now, second question. What's going to be the reaction when Ray pops Dominic? You think people are going to pop? You think people are going to be excited? They're going to be excited with this predictability because eventually Ray's going to pop Dom. They have kind of stretched this out, but I'm fine with it. I like the storytelling of Ray saying all the reasons why he can't hit his kid, only to eventually hit his
all
kid.
The reasons why.
Steps out of line.
Here's all the reasons. He should come out with a list. Here's all the reasons you should never strike your child. And then you should tear it up and then punch him in the mouth. But here's the thing about that Mania match. I mean, I have a feeling Ray's winning, but I don't put it past it. I don't put it past him. I think maybe Ray wants to take some time off. Dominic winning would be monster at WrestleMania. Yeah.
I think you almost have to have Dominic go. I think Dominic is so hot right now, and they hate him. And they do want to see him get his comeuppance. But if he beats Ray and is able to brag about it until like SummerSlam, he becomes, he's already probably the best heel in this company. He's better than Roman. He's number one.
No, Dominic Mysterio is the best heel in all of wrestling right now.
Probably
best heel in wrestling. All of wrestling.
Absolutely. So that would be the
promo with
turnout.
Charlotte, that Issa, did you go back and watch that first one? Like that was incredible. Dominic Mysterio is like giving MJF a run for his money right now in totally different ways.
MJF's not even in the same league right now.
Wow. MJF needs to go to prison.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be funny if MJF got like caught dead to rights doing something in storyline and then just like bought his way out of the whole thing.
Just bailed him out. MJF bail bonds.
Yeah, just something, you know. Kelvin, $5 saying Ray gassed up Dominic tonight, or Ray was gassed us up tonight. Disappointed he didn't slap the taste out of Dom's mouth. I mean, it's coming. Issa, what did you think? What should have Ray have said in Spanish tonight to Dominic?
I really like this segment. I find myself more invested in the storyline than I should be, but a lot of it has to do with what Alfred just explained, the just waiting for it to happen. It is predictable, but the fact that it hasn't happened keeps you on your toes every time they have some kind of interaction because you're just waiting for it. And what can Dominic say that's gonna pop off Ray? Like, I am so into the story, and there's just something about the father-son going into it, how much Ray's really holding back. We saw him. Like, Ray's gonna snap. He snapped at LA Mysterio for no reason whatsoever later on in the evening. Like, this man is just like, he's on edge right now. I am really into, I love the reactions that Dominic is getting. I've been singing his praises in my own channel. When I interview him, I thought he was great. I don't know what will happen at WrestleMania, but I'm very invested in this storyline. I do go back and forward, and I don't know how you guys feel about the whole having Dominic do something in the Hall of Fame segment or not. I seen a lot of back and forward banter on social medias about whether people want Dominic to like interrupt and mess it up or not, because he will kind of like make like can ruin the future of these ceremonies or whatever. So that one I'm kind of going back and forth about, because people are just sharing some wild opinions out there. But in regards to the storyline, I absolutely am loving everything about it. My favorite part, Glenn, was when Ray said, "Excuse me, Rhea, can I have a word with my son alone in front of 14,000 people?" I'm like, what? Made no sense.
Do you think I think the only thing that's lacking, Dominic needs to go more into specifics. I mean, Issa, you've said before.
He went into specifics. He got a BMW and he wasn't even an M series.
Watch that segment on Raw.
Glenn,
watch that segment on Raw with Dominic talking about how Ray didn't get him a Mercedes.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because I thought tonight was just a little platitudes. I want more details. He should be doing that every week.
Yeah, he should. I want more of that. I was waiting for Dom to come up with some reference as to like, you didn't get me the Gucci loafers. You got me the Louboutins.
The BMW segment was genius.
Yeah, that's great.
This is my favorite feud going into Mania. I think this is going to be incredible. But I think
it's been going on for a while, splitting them in brands and trying to keep them apart until now with Judgment Day and Rhea. They really did the right thing here, and they have let it marinate perfectly.
I think if they're not involving the storyline in the Hall of Fame, there's no reason to do it this year for Rey Mysterio.
100% agree. I feel like, because Issa, you were talking about how they would ruin the Hall of Fame ceremony if he attacked Dom. No, they've already ruined that ceremony by announcing Rey in the middle of this big feud with Dom, because whether or not Dom interferes, everybody's going to be sitting, not paying attention to what Ray's saying. They're going to be waiting for Dom to come out and do something. So
okay, hear me out. What if that's where Rey pops? We're all expecting Dominic to do something. What if it's Ray the one that like gets it in at the Hall of Fame? Like, imagine he like dressing his nice little suit and he pulls out a chancla from his freaking pocket. Let's go.
That's when I think they're going to do it. Is at the Hall of Fame he finally beats the hell out of Dominic. Because Ray has endured so much that it's like Dominic has to really cross a line for Ray to finally snap. And that's it. On his proudest night, which he referenced tonight, again, on his finest hour, Dominic embarrasses him. And, I would like to see the chancla slap.
I mean, I think
there's got to be a chancla. There has to be a chancla here somewhere. If they post out a chancla at WrestleMania, I'm sorry, Glenn, I'll die. Every Latino in the world will stand up and just, you know what? No, save the chancla for Puerto Rico if you want a real good reaction.
Yeah. Yes, I love that.
That's actually, so this is an interesting question, two-part question. One, see, I was gonna say that like that year John Cena wanted the match, but it wasn't announced. And it's like, how do you not announce John Cena? People are like, people know what's happening. Like, I mean, I think with Ray and Dominic, you could not announce it until Hall of Fame, and people know what's happening. Like, it's assumed, but instead, do you do something at Hall of Fame and then save it for Backlash in Puerto Rico? I don't know how you do that exactly, but that would be.
Listen, I manifested this show to Puerto Rico. I'm also booking it. Okay. So WWE, I won't take any credit. Rey Mysterio, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's go.
It is good. It's better than good. And we already saw some pictures of Bad Bunny and Rey interacting this week on the late night show. It's written. It's written for you.
I bought 2K23. I got the Bad Bunny pre-order. My
Nice
GM
job.
mode is not broken this year.
It's good to know.
Tyler Breeze.
Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying it?
Tyler Breeze back for my GM mode. He's in the intro video,
Yeah.
and he can play him as a GM.
All right.
So we know who you're playing for.
Absolutely,
You're Tyler Breeze all the time.
absolutely. I mean, my GM mode. Okay, so the gameplay is good. I mean, the engine is better. You know all the improvements cosmetically. The game looked good, but it's funny that there's a fan base for my GM mode because the basic gameplay of that is like that's like some 40-year-old like soccer manager simulator technology. Like there's almost no technology involved in my GM mode whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay,
You know?
what version of Tyler Breeze? I'm curious now. Is it NXT Black and Gold Tyler Breeze? Is it?
Oh no, he's in a suit. He's in a
Fashion
suit. He's just showing up in a suit as
Oh.
Tyler Breeze. He's in a t-shirt. He's in an up down t-shirt at the beginning. So this is what's interesting too. On the brands you could do NXT and NXT 2.0 as separate brands
Oh wow.
in my GM. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm playing, but yeah, it's really, really simple. Really, really simple. Jeff Halen, thank you for the 1999 super chat.
Thank you,
Oh
Jeff.
yeah. Shout out to Jeff.
My name is Jeff. I'm sorry.
I mean, you got to say it right if you're going to say it.
Do you do it, Glenn?
Oh, I can't. I'm not the gifted impressionist you are. Jeff
up.
saying headed to Taco Bell with Wrestling Inc. on the stereo. Awesome. Always great. Thanks, you three. Appreciate it, man.
Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Taco Bell.
Yeah, get a Bell Beefer if they'll make one for you.
Or a Mexican pizza. The Mexican pizza's back. That slaps every time.
Yeah.
I don't eat Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, with your digestive issues, that's
Oh, yeah. Good.
That's
Yeah.
like committing stomach suicide, literally.
yeah, that could go really poorly. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez took on Tegan Nox and Emma in a qualifier match for a spot in the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match at WrestleMania tonight.
Yep, it's that time of the year when the women start getting paired up in random tag teams so that they can get a Mania match. Happens every year.
Yeah, this did nothing for me. I appreciate that they're at least trying to add stakes to this Fatal 4-Way, but Wade Barrett just announced there's going to be 2 Fatal 4-Way WrestleMania showcase matches. So I think you immediately started to assume, oh, this is where they're going to put all the people they don't know what to do with.
Right.
I mean, that's quite a few people they don't know what to do with.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a loaded roster, I will say, because I'm very surprised that Raquel Rodriguez is in that category because she, to me, should be in that category of she's going to have this first WrestleMania, she's going to get her big moment, and then she's going to be a contender coming out of this.
Yeah. So I mean, this match was okay.
It was a great match. It's just the fact that you know why they're doing it because it happens every year. I mean, we saw Liv Morgan pair up with Rhea Ripley last year. Now this year with Raquel, like it's you know.
I thought Liv and Rhea had a lot of potential together. Some of it realized, some of it
They
not.
were the best dressed at last year's Mania. Don't at me.
Yeah. But no, this match was okay. But man, poor Emma and Tegan.
What, you wanted them to go to Mania instead of Liv and Raquel? I mean, at that point, I'm feeling like storyline wise and people that have been featured, you know, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful because I like Tegan and Emma, but they haven't been in a coherent storyline since they returned.
Yeah.
At least Raquel and Liv, I would want to see them at Mania, not in this kind of way, but I do think they have earned their way to be in the card some kind of way.
Yeah. Ray should ask Emma to talk to Dominic.
Oh, I see why.
Never mind. I'm not gonna.
No. Come on, complete it. I know what you did.
No,
about how to
finish the
turn-
sentence,
Just about
Glenn.
how to turn your life around. You know, I mean, she put it all behind her.
That would be
Yeah, but that's
so
the difference. Dom is not trying to put it behind him.
I
He's
know.
embracing that side of him.
Well,
so,
that's why
this is two complete different criminals.
She could be like, I went down that road too. I was an ex-con as well. I once I committed an armed robbery of a
and
Walmart.
Dom is gonna be like, and where did that get you? You know?
Yeah, there you go. Thug life.
Then never take criminal Dominic away from me, please.
Oh man. So we heard from Charlotte Flair,
Yeah, we did.
who got confronted by Dominic and Rhea, mostly Rhea. Dominic only got a few words in. But
Yeah, but he ruined the moment. Like, I love Dom, but
yeah, look, you got to go
he
all
should have
out.
stayed out of this one. He should
Yeah.
have stayed out of this one.
Like, here's the thing about Dominic Mysterio. There's no like just a dash of Dominic Mysterio. Like, you either
Right.
let him go full on or just tell him not to say
Don't.
anything, stand in the background.
I think my issue, it wasn't an issue with it because it was funny, like Mommy's gonna kick your ass at Mania. Yeah, but it was one of the best, most passionate promos that we have seen Rhea cut in a long time. She's been so in character. She's been doing this mommy thing. Let me whisper in your ear. Let me like kick ass here. But we haven't heard her talk like this. And I was here for Rhea's promo, and Dominic kind of took me out of the moment for a second. Where then they got physical, so they sold me right back in. But the back and forth between Charlotte and Rhea was solid. This match needed this segment, and I thought it delivered.
I actually thought it kind of over delivered because when they finally it's been missing that promo, that good promo exchange between Rhea and Charlotte, and we finally got that. I thought it was really good. I was just assuming that they weren't going to touch till WrestleMania, and then they get into this all-out brawl with a couple of weeks left. Which, okay, that's fine. They definitely needed something, and I think they overcorrected in trying to make this a hot main event type program, but it still is not.
Right, that's a valid point. The only thing that I like can counter that with is that we've seen them touch on multiple occasions. They've had so many matches that I don't see them getting physical, like taking me out of it, because I can go back and watch them wrestle each other like what 3-4 times at this point. So it doesn't bother me that there be so the physical part didn't bother me, but I see your point, and maybe you should have done the promo and then maybe let him get physical the week before Mania, go home show, something like that. You did a lot in one segment.
Kelvin R. Alexander, $2, saying that first fight they had wasn't it.
I will never not wonder what should have been or if something changed because of the whole COVID mania that we ended up getting as opposed to what we were really supposed to get. Sorry, I'm being bullied. Excuse me.
I don't think Roman liked that fight either.
Roman, I feel like I have a time limit in front of the streaming, like doing lives, and it's like a Roman time limit, and I never know when it's gonna be. And when he needs attention, he starts doing this, and it's great if you're me. I took him out for a beach walk, like a walk by the beach today. He got treats, like I don't know what else to do, so he stops this.
Maybe he's thanking you.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe he's just really happy.
Showing some gratitude.
And just shouting out, Possible.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank you, Queen.
I don't know. I did what nobody should do, and I just gave him a treat. That should shut him off.
You're reinforcing negative behavior.
I know. I'm a horrible mom, Glenn. I know it. Okay, I'm a bad dog mom. I'm fully 1,000% aware that I created a 5-pound monster. I know.
There you go.
If we were at WrestleMania match, he'll be calling me out for all the things I've done wrong, like Dominic is doing with Ray.
I hate to say it, that would be incredible if instead he was like, you were too supportive of me. When I wanted something, you should have told me to work for it, to build self-respect instead of just handing it to me on a silver platter. Like, that would actually be a phenomenal angle to take.
It would actually be kind of realistic because a lot of these rich kids do end up in a life of crime because they didn't get taught the lessons they were supposed to as kids. So they could have gone that way. That'd been funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kelvin R. Alexander, $2 saying, sorry, I meant fist fight. Fist fight bad. Yeah, and this devolving tonight into this. I mean,
So what Dominic is supposed to say, I wanted a crappy used car, not a BMW.
But it would be
I wanted to have
funny.
the same experience.
And it would be like, you gave me too high of self-esteem. I never had to work for anything. What about self-respect, Dad?
Yeah.
I wanted your
feeling
old
like I earned it?
Lumina.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually a great point, Glenn. I would
Yeah.
actually love to see a story like that.
Yeah, I'd be like, you should have punished me more as a kid. What about all these things I got away with? Sent me to my room. I had Nintendo in my room. What kind of punishment was that?
I like it.
So LA Knight took on Xavier Woods tonight.
Is this before? No, yeah, this was before he got attacked by Ray.
Yeah.
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 LA Knight is quietly kind of starting to rise here.
Very quietly.
I think they really should. The thing is, he's doing his part. They're just not letting him win matches. And I think this match is going to have a match against Rey Mysterio next week. I think that's a perfect spot to have Dominic come in and screw Ray. LA Knight picks up the win that he really should have, and off to the races.
That's like some Larry Sanders shit to be like, he's quietly one of the most popular superstars.
Very quietly, yeah. They're
very quietly. He wouldn't know it from the lack of audience reaction, but he is quietly.
Oh no, he's getting over. People are getting the live reports from Madison Square Garden of all places. He was very over there. I've heard the crowd reaction when he says, "Yeah, they love doing the yeah."
They love the word yeah. They love affirmations.
What date is this? March 17th? I'm saying on March 17th that Affirmations LA Knight, the A in LA Knight stands for affirmations, by the way. He will become I don't know about a top star.
What's the L for? Loser? Lame affirmations?
Lame affirmations?
WWE booking, yes. But I do believe that he is starting to be improved. He might be 2023's most, he's a veteran. He might be most improved this year, to be honest.
Do you not feel like it's a little bit of a replay of what they did with Seth Rollins last year, where he lost a bunch of matches on his way of trying to get a WrestleMania match? Because he's giving me those vibes.
Well, that LA Knight is trying to do that?
It's giving me similar vibes to that storyline where Seth ended up getting Cody, but he lost like 4 or 5 matches of Raw, and then he was like desperately trying to get a match backstage at WrestleMania, trying to steal other people's matches. I didn't get that vibe until the conversation with Rey Mysterio.
You know what? That's a great point. And now I didn't get that vibe until you brought it up. And come to think of it, that might be what because he has been saying over and over, you can't have WrestleMania without LA Knight in LA or whatever.
Right. So I wonder if he's going to end up having that segment where a bunch of superstars that we weren't expecting show up and he takes their finishers or something like that.
Yeah. If they did have an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, even though it's
he
not
would
much,
win.
He should definitely be the favorite to win that.
Yeah.
I agree with it. Quietly. Very quietly. one of the most over superstars.
I'm telling you.
I hope they do something with the pre-show matches. I'm sorry to interrupt, but like last year doing the Battle Royal on SmackDown, I didn't like that. Like put it back on the pre-show. I do think WrestleMania should have matches on the pre-show. I know they don't do matches on the pre-show anymore. I would prefer it to see it in the pre-show than see it the night before. It doesn't feel like it's part of WrestleMania at all.
Yeah, it's sad when they do it on SmackDown. But good for Xavier Woods getting that win tonight.
Yeah, good for. I mean, I love Xavier Woods, love the New Day. He does not need that win, and LA Knight totally does need that win.
I know that's what made it incredible.
Which is why I think they're going in that storyline direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing that with Baron Corbin too on Raw, where he is now finding himself on the outside looking.
At least we still care about LA Knight. But after JBL calls you a third, just go back to being broke. Just bring back Broke Corbin.
God, Broke Corbin was so over.
The best. The best.
It was so good.
He said it was a vibe.
It was.
I'll never forget seeing him in the freaking hotel in Vegas, literally on character with the show. It was the best.
No, I think with Corbin, I mean, look, Bum-ass Corbin was phenomenal. LA Knight has not reached the level of Bum-ass Corbin yet.
No, and Baron Corbin, to his credit, is the ultimate example of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because he was getting heat, he was being booed loudly. He was a very credible heel on the roster for a few years, and they just kept retooling it, repackaging, and now, to Isa's point, nobody really cares right now. And I do think he can get it back, but it's WWE overthinking the Baron Corbin character is the reason he's in this position.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how they just squandered that.
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
So okay, what was next? Oh, then LA Knight was walking around backstage. Rey Mysterio was signing autographs. Then he started talking shit to Ray, and then they're gonna fight next week.
LA Mysterio.
And Ray slapped him because Ray needs to hit somebody.
Yeah, he's on edge. Like he's going through it, man. So somebody's gotta get it if it's not Dominic. I knew it. As soon as he walked up to him, I was like, don't do that. Don't you know what this man is going through right now internally?
I could see Ray losing by DQ by losing his temper, but LA Knight should win this match somehow, some way. Come on. Give LA Knight something.
He's not gonna. Huh.
And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
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 Which is like it's almost such a lame catchphrase. It's brilliant, but it's also stupid.
Yeah, very simple and Pavlovian. People like saying it back.
I plan on FaceTiming you from LA with Alfred. We're just gonna say yeah back and forward for like 5 minutes.
It's like the new Budweiser, like, what's up?
Yeah, we're literally gonna FaceTime you just the whole time.
Yeah.
Until you get annoyed and hang up on us.
Don't hang up until 5 minutes though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Unless you come to LA and watch Stand and Deliver or something with us, you know? Just saying, Glenn, we could all be together. We could all be together.
Could be.
You plus sign, me equal sign, us.
That is a thing, yes. So okay. So. Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Who is going to face Gunther at WrestleMania? And wouldn't you know it? They're both going to face him.
Of course they are.
They worked it out. So both of them got knocked down, both got up. And what everyone thought was going to happen is absolutely going to happen.
I feel like this is a wild comparison to make, so stay with me here. But I do feel like Sheamus and Drew McIntyre are the new Flair Steamboat in that they could wrestle a million times, and every single time there's no getting tired of it. People are into it. They're chanting, "This is awesome," almost immediately. Like, it doesn't matter how many times these two wrestle. They always have awesome matches, and it always feels fresh.
They're like the 2023 version of the Bar.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, probably more accurately the Bar than Flair Steamboat.
I love the match. I think like the theme of the night is predictable. I think I knew this was going to have no finish or something was going to happen and it was going to lead to a triple threat. It didn't take my enjoyment away. My God, the European meat in this triple threat is going to be, big meaty men slapping meat to a whole new level. I can't wait.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those matches that people are going to overlook, but may God have mercy on who has to follow this match.
If you have to start looking at if you have to start looking at dark horses, and I hope they place them on different nights, this and Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul could really steal the shows, and these are matches that nobody's really looking at. But I had a feeling that this is how this was going to end up. A lot of back and forward on the finish. I actually still see Gunther retaining, even after facing both Drew and Sheamus.
Me too, because Cody needs some top heels, and Gunther could be one of those guys.
Unless you want
Cody.
Yeah, we'll see.
Randy Hawkins, thank you for the $5
Uncle Randy's here.
Uncle Randy, baby.
You love to see it.
To see it. Calvin R. Alexander, $5 saying LA Knight needs a segment like he had an impact at the dummy segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, WWE loves giving segments to people like that, and LA Knight can talk. I love it.
I look forward to his feud with Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
And Triple H just sits backstage and he's like, I don't get it. I just don't get why it doesn't translate.
Grayson Waller is so good right now. I know we're not talking NXT. That's our Tuesday thing, but he also posted a video after the entire thing with Johnny Gargano. Just A+ stuff from Grayson Waller right now.
Tuesday was a really good show.
I love out of pocket Grayson Waller.
It's the best. It's the best. I think, not for nothing, I'm considering going to Stand and Deliver, and I will say Grayson Waller is like 60% of the reason why, and the way this feud is going right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. Yeah. It's so dumb. It's
I mean,
not
Carmelo
cool.
Hayes and Bron
Yeah.
Breakker is also going to slap. Don't get
Oh
me
yeah,
wrong.
I can't wait for that one. The build hasn't been good for that, but the match is going to be great.
Right, exactly.
Randy Hawkins, $5 saying, I get the feeling Gunther will have his Imperium buddies help him retain at Mania. I mean, this could very well end up just turning into a multi-man. Like
We'll see how it goes, and it depends on how many times you're going to use the multi-man or somebody helping someone or somebody screwing someone over. I hope they're smart about that.
I mean,
and this kind of, it feels like an extension of Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, because the crux of this match is really Sheamus feeling that Drew McIntyre betrayed him by trying to get this match. So that tension is probably going to cost them both the match, and they're going to spin off on their own.
I mean, that's the problem with these handicap matches, right? If they could just team up and decide, toss a coin on who wins, but they can never agree who should get the win if they both team up.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, because it does seem like the most logical way to steal a championship.
Right.
Did you see when Sheamus was tweeting at Drew McIntyre? Said backstabber after backstabber after backstabber.
It's awesome. So after that, and after Gunther attacked in the, or after Imperium attacked in the ring, Adam Pearce set up that match. Then we had Sami Zayn and Jey Uso meet in a Kansas City showdown, where they exchanged words, and then Jimmy and Jay both ended up beating up Sami Zayn before Kevin Owens came out to the rescue.
Are we going to undersell this segment again? Why are you doing Jay
No,
like
go
that?
for it. Okay, you, Alfred, sell it. Go for it.
Oh, no, please. This was a very, very emotional segment.
It was.
I love that they continue to layer these characters, because Jey Uso, if you've been watching, hasn't seemed all that happy with his decision. Even though he did turn on Sami Zayn's family, he seems very conflicted. And Sami Zayn had a great line where he says, I don't think you're mad at me. I think you're mad at you because you didn't turn on Roman Reigns, which was a bar. And what last
No, it's
week
not a bar. That's something
it?
that somebody that betrays all of his best friends will say, and that's what Sami Zayn has done to Kevin Owens for years now. Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn, he doesn't know what a family, what a healthy relationship is, because they keep turning on each other for the last 10 years. He's trying to manipulate Jey Uso, and it's clear.
It is not clear. I think Sami
Very
and
clear.
Jey have been great in their roles as conflicted, because Sami, like he said, loved being part of the bloodline, but he wasn't going to sit around and be bullied, so he did what he had to do. Whereas Jey, I think, does feel inadequate, because he's like, well, Sami stood up for himself. I didn't stand up for myself. Maybe I need to.
No,
And
he
that
didn't. He
being
said it tonight.
conflicted
He said
is
he's
what
the one
makes
who
him
saw
angry.
it since day one. He saw through Sami Zayn
Not day
since
one.
day one.
No.
Day one.
No, he said he's the one who didn't like it, but then Solo liked him, then Roman liked him. The thing that I love about being able to discuss this with you guys is the complete different perspectives. And I'm not seeing it from your perspective, Alfred.
Yes.
I think that Sami Zayn was manipulative. And I love what Jey had to say to him tonight, which he made a good point.
And
I didn't like you. I finally let my guard down, and guess what? You proved me right. There was a reason why I never trusted you to begin with. I love how it can be seen from, depending on your bias, right?
Exactly.
Tony
That's what I was about to say.
Tony Khan, don't come for us. Don't come for us. But depending on your bias, depending on what side you're in, I love how this could emotionally affect people differently. It's beautiful storytelling, really.
Yeah, if you're biased toward Roman Reigns, you will see Sami Zayn as a backstabber, but that's not the story they're telling. Objectively speaking, with somebody who I am pro-Roman, but I'm not biased toward him in the context of this storyline. Yeah. Objectively speaking, the story
I'm not talking about Roman here. I'm talking about the words that Jimmy used against Jey. This has, before the chat comes from me, this has nothing to do with Roman. Jey was the one that Sami Zayn could not win over. There was a reason for that. This has nothing to do with Roman. We all knew that it took forever, all the way onto War Games, for Sami Zayn to finally win Jey Uso over. So Jey Uso coming back tonight and saying, hey, I never liked you. Then everybody started liking you. Then I figured maybe there's something good about him. Maybe he really does love me. This is what I'm talking about. So I get your point, but I just want you to know this has nothing to do with my obsession with Roman. I love that Jey brought up the fact that he was the one that never trusted Sami to begin with.
A little bit to do. I mean, emotions are emotions. It does have, it's okay if it has something to do. It definitely does. And I am talking about Roman, by the way, because he is the common denominator in this entire feud in terms of being a tyrant. He is a tyrant leader. That's why he's a heel still in this storyline. And the storyline is they're going to need to bring down the bloodline. And I do think there is a part of Jey Uso that is jealous that is going to manifest itself when he inevitably starts feuding with Roman as the next iteration of this bloodline storyline. I thought it was a beautiful story they told. Early in the night, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens had an emotional moment in the parking lot where Sami Zayn dared to cry on TV and say he loved Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens drove off in a very nice looking car.
Yeah,
Kevin
it was green. So red for today. I love it.
Yeah, green for St. Patty's Day. Kevin Owens came back. They had an emotional moment after the Usos were beating down Sami Zayn. Owens came back. He fended them off. And regardless of what you think about the storyline, this entire arena, T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, 10,000 people almost chanting, "Hug it out. Hug it out." When they hugged it out, I mean, I've heard in the past couple of months, I've heard some of the biggest pops I've ever heard in my life with Sami hitting Roman with that chair, Jay turning on Sami, and now this hug, huge explosions of pop because this bloodline storyline continues to slap.
People were happy.
Loved it, myself included. I love this storyline. I love that I know where it's going, but we're kind of on pins and needles seeing how it gets there. I'm just enjoying the ride here. And I think it's going to be the same thing for every moment.
It's literally long-term storytelling, and it's beautiful.
Love it.
Well, tonight, so Sammy's words had an effect. Kevin Owens hugged him, and Cody was watching on from the monitor backstage.
Yes. Best help therapist, Cody Rhodes, watching on like, yes, I did good.
Better help therapist, and you know it.
The best help, because it actually worked. Everybody's trying to get these two back together. No, it was Cody. Cody has a magic touch.
I didn't say those therapists don't work. I just say they might not be certified. That's basic. Just look it up on YouTube, okay?
Okay. Calvin R. Alexander, $2 saying, look at Issa spinning for the bloodline.
Yeah.
Nightmare Knee, $5 saying Issa's doing yoga to make her argument.
I will never do yoga to make an argument work. I do yoga for most useful things. Thank you very much.
Hot yoga is very useful. I love hot yoga.
Hot yoga is the best.
Steve Marcucci, $1.99. Which match would you choose to open WrestleMania?
That's a great question, Steven. What do you guys think?
I think Rhea versus Charlotte, unless they get more heat on it next week, I think that would have been a really strong opener. Like, have that open and have the tag titles close.
It's gonna be Omos versus Brock, so we can forget about it.
That's going to be a spectacle live. I'm not, because like, I know people have the reservations about this, but when people are live in that building and they see these two giants fighting, they're all going to have to do the about face. Oh, I never knew this was going to be. I did. I don't think it's going to be a great technical wrestling, but who gives a fuck about that? I think this is going to be a very entertaining spectacle. And that's what I'm looking forward to in terms of these two hosses. And I wouldn't mind them starting it off so that, because, Brock wants to get on his plane early.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If he doesn't close, it's going to open. That's what Brock does. Same with Roman. Yeah, I mean, you could put a banger out there. If you're not going to have, I think having John Cena in this WrestleMania, if he's not going to get one of the main events, I wouldn't mind seeing him open. You got to open with a bang.
Yeah, Cena would be good.
So Cena and Austin Theory would also be a great opener.
Yeah, the opening match it shouldn't be seen as a curtain jerker like it's a bad thing. I think the two most important matches go first and last. You want to open the show from hot. They opened with the Universal title match one year with Brock and Seth Rollins, remember?
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong.
I can't recall what we opened with last year on night one. Like at all.
That's a good point. Night one, WrestleMania 38. What did we open with?
I think the 2 nights Manias really throws off, like, because I can remember openers and closers for when we were on one night, right? Like, once you start mixing in the 2 nights, it all just kind of like, I remember the matches, I can't remember the order.
That's a good point.
It all blends together.
It was the Usos versus Shinsuke and Rick Boogs. Oh, I remember that's when Rick Boogs got hurt.
Oh, when Rick Boogs got hurt. Oh, yeah.
Randy Hawkins, $5 saying, we got a Cody, Sammy, and KO stable now. Roman might have his bloodline implode. Poor Issa. Her sweet Roman will be sad. Issa,
listen,
Roman
Uncle Randy,
need a hug.
I love you. I appreciate the super chats. First of all, I don't need hugs. I don't do hugs. Don't touch me. Don't come near me.
Wow, really?
Super chats do help. So just keep the super chats coming. That should help me feel better.
Money is all the affection Issa needs.
Can I give you
or designer shoes? Or designer shoes.
Well, I'm not gonna give you that, but I'll give you a high five and to console. I'll console you with a high five.
Don't you come near me.
Nothing. No.
Roman.
Okay.
If Roman doesn't win a Mania, don't you come near me. I'll punch you right in the face.
I will keep my distance. Let me tell you that. But I will be as magnanimous as possible. I'm
gonna need some time, so do not come near me. understand this is having good intentions here, but please, people, do not come near me. That happens. It's dangerous. You've been warned. You've been warned.
Stop.
When we go out to eat at Applebee's, I'll have you go to another table, to be honest, so that we can be that far away until you.
We'll do it the next day or on Tuesday. Just give me some time.
100%.
She Blackbuck 99 saying Stone Cold versus LA Knight will open WrestleMania.
Oh God,
that is a wild rumor that I've been hearing. I don't think it's gonna.
I heard it too.
But I wouldn't mind it.
But what about? I'm sorry, Alfred. What if it's not a match? What if it's what I mentioned earlier, where it's the segment where a bunch of legends come out and get their finishers in, kind of like what we got at 32 with Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold and Mick Foley? Like, why can't we do something like that? Maybe they're doing that for The Miz, since it's the host. I'm not too sure, but I can see LA Knight being a part of something like that as well.
I would love that. He's kind of in the same spot that Sami Zayn was in last year, where they're going to use him as a wacky heel to interact with celebrities, and kind of worked out for Sami Zayn, didn't it?
Right. I still love that match. I don't care what anybody has to say. That match was so fun.
Let me tell you something, Ryan. One of my 10 favorite WrestleMania matches ever. And I'm going to do this poll about if you could have a WrestleMania card with only WrestleMania matches, what will you choose? And I did it. And one of my matches is the Jackass match. It's one of my favorite matches.
I love that idea. I'll have my 10 ready for your comment section.
Hell yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. We'll be back here on Tuesday to talk about NXT and this build to Stand and Deliver. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. So good to see you all. Follow Issa at NYC Demon Diva. That's Diva with the 1. Alfred is at This Is Nasty. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. Have a good one, everybody. NXT. Looking forward to it. Good to have the 3 of you here. Everybody go watch Rampage. It starts in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See you next time on the Wrestling.
Give me my